Where do myths originate in their purest form?
In the imagination. They were just a connection formed between an unexplained event and a person's ideas of how the world might have come to be. Then they were taken and refined into the forms we know.
So they're never truly free from an individual's bias.
Right, then they would be facts, the way things are rather than the way they are seen to be.
So this process of creating a mythology in later cultures is really an evolution of earlier ideas.
Exactly.
What drives the change?
Let's find out.
Would you like me to tell you a story?
Tell us the story of how you learned the tale of the Shining Ones.
Ah. It is quite a tale. Are you sure?
Yes!
Okay.
Yes! Totally nuclear!
It's nuclear.
Sorry.
I learned this tale from the Shining Ones when I was a very young man. And so Mordred struck Arthur's hand from his body, and the hand and the sword Excalibur fell into the chasm. Mordred loomed over the king and said in his dark triumph, "I am your son!"
That is utterly horrible!
Interesting to speculate upon, though.
He deserved it. What are you looking at here?
Proof that even a civilization-ending catastrophe cannot completely expunge the original mythic forms.
So even here, the cores of myths are the same grains of truth in the metaphoric ideas that primitive man started millennia ago?
Just so. The myth is the creation of the world, the idea that the world had a beginning and was formed by a certain procedure. And the evolution we will see is the new ideas of the storyteller, his own views of the underpinnings of reality, his own gods, and his own physical observations. From that comes the storyteller's idea of what the procedure is.
So it came to pass that I left our island and went to the mainland, where the great spikes stand as a monument to the Shining Ones of old. I am going to the land of the Shining Ones to learn the greatest stories of the ancients. The deed of the monkey is a sign from God.
Monotheism?
Probably a survivor of the Judeo-Christian tradition.
Oh dear! That could have gone better.
What do you expect will happen?
The central myth deals with nuclear waste, since in this hypothetical situation it was a nuclear winter that reshaped the Earth. The storyteller will either observe the symbols in the environment or encounter a person charged with keeping the waste sealed, and from his understanding extract a theory regarding the shaping of the world.
And from that he will create the myth based on his as-yet unseen opinions on religion and science?
That's what I've been saying.
Halt! Who goes there?
Oh, mighty Shining One, I am a humble storyteller, seeking the great tale of how the world changes.
What the heck? It was the nuclear winter. First there were the wars, and then on top of that, the radiation leaked out of the nuclear reactors and fried the cities. Pretty soon, everyone stopped fighting because they were all too screwed up. And so my ancestors took all the radioactive byproducts they could and bottled it up in the waste sites like this one. So now we sit on the nuclear waste and guard it.
Oh, my head.
He fainted!
It seems he's not as sharp as he gives himself credit for. It seems the cataclysm ruined the discipline of language studies.
Undone by slang. It's a tragedy.
So he has the data. Now comes the synthesis of the myth. Uh-oh?
Foolish mortal, thinking you could understand the language of the ancients. Let me show you how it happened. In the early days of the world before, demons and monsters roamed freely. Against them I arranged my angels, and we went to war. The demons we cast into the lake of fire, where they burned for eternity. Yet the humans found the lake and learned to use its fire for their own purposes. They trapped the fire and used it as the cornerstone of their civilization. But then the demons broke free and cast them into ruins. The Shining Ones took the fire that remained and sealed it in these graveyards.
Could that really happen?
They say that passages of the New Testament may describe drug-induced experiences and hallucinations. So, yes, but the symbolism here is striking, to say the least.
Where'd the monkey go?
I must tell my people!
Wait, what's this?
You injected him with the hallucina what?
Hey, it gets the job done. Hwah!
It hardly seems a pure process of synthesis.
I disagree, though I confess it was helped along more than it should have been. And in any case, I have said that synthesis is no longer a pure process anyway.
But where did the ninja come from?
You never know with ninjas.
So now he's telling the story, having just finished the story of how he got the story, which I hesitate to call enlightening.
It actually seems to suggest that the myth is being enforced by surviving elements of pre-catastrophe government. It's rather Orwellian, actually.
How do you justify using this to support your statement that myths grow based on the thoughts of the culture when culture is being manipulated?
Look, a grapefruit.
So why did the demons come forth and destroy the ancient?
It seems that the ancients talked more than they should have and made asses of themselves.
Are you listening?
Of course not. He's just a Lego man.
I'll take a moment to reflect on the irony of that statement. What's that monkey doing now?
Originality is a lost cause.
That's our thesis!
Shut up.